Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Ayobami Bakari. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed Tuesday's video. I've been seeing like comments and questions that people have been having. I'm trying my best to answer them. Some people have been sending emails, and I have been on top of that. I've been responding like really quickly and promptly. Guys, please make sure to send me actual emails, not like Google Chat or all those things. I will not see it on time. So um some people also like DM'd me, but like they just say hi, so I'm not sure like the purpose of that. Some people want to turn to my friend. I'm so honored, guys. Don't worry, the Lord will lead us. So we're back into today's video. Today's video is basically parent information section on the ISFA and the ISAFA. You see that I'm doing the two together so that if people can submit on time, especially for those of you that your application is due November 1st. Thank God that this October, I don't know if October has always been this long, but October is long, guys. And I don't know. I really hope this is going to be so helpful to you guys. So, parent information. What is your parents' current marital status? Never married. You know, like there's some of you guys that your parents just got together, like legally they're not married, but like traditionally they're married. So you can put married or in a domestic relationship. But if people like you that they didn't do anything, they didn't somebody, they didn't do any of those things. So these people never married or widowed or separated or divorced. Is it divorced? English, for the week. So parents' name, um, for me, as the type of person that I am, I like my things being like the same. So in my common app, if my parents, one is my mom, then I'm going to use my mom for this section. If my parents, one is my dad, obviously that doesn't matter. Relationship, mother or father or your legal guardian, whoever they are, their age, their address. Sometimes it might not be the same as you, so put the same address, occupation or title, business owner, um, CEO, manager, whatever you put in the common app, right? Employer. So if your parents are self-employed, like they have their own business, they have their own farm, they shall run things by themselves, and so you would put self-employed. But if they work for a company, please put the name of the company there. Number of years with their employer for the two of them. So you're gonna put 00, especially if they're like self-employed, like they're the owners of their business. How many people, including yourself, depend on the income of your parents for daily living expenses? Guys, count very well. There are some of us that have aunties and uncles that live with us. So count those guys if they depend on the income of your parents for daily living expenses. Like now there's some people like that have aunties and uncles that live with them, but like they also work. So they live in the morning, come back in the night, or they work from home. So they don't depend on your parents for daily living expenses. You just live with you guys, and obviously you guys feed them. But things like I want to buy a card, I want to make my hair, you guys don't your parents don't cover that, then you might not include them. But if you feel like everything's part of it, include them. It doesn't matter how many they are, include them, include your siblings and all of those things. If you have your grandparents living with you, or they are not living with you, but your parents are still the ones like covering their daily living expenses, please include them. Number 16, um, family member listing. Please provide information for all family members you included in question 11. What did you put in question 11? Your marital status, your dependents. So don't forget. Um, what I say? Um, and then question 15 is how many people depend on your parents for living expenses. Do not give information about yourself in this section. So for someone like me that I only have siblings that are dependent on my parents for daily living expenses. Now, your parents might obviously like contribute to someone's education. Please include that. Or, just dash people stuff. Now your parents could be the auntie or the egbo, those kind of things, or big mom. If your parents that kind of person, those people are not dependent on your parents for living their daily living expenses. But if you know the ones that that we're the ones doing it, or my parents are the ones doing it, add them. in section 15. So in here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how do you know who to put here if you have more than 5 people? For me, I only have 3 brothers. That's all. So I literally still have space, right? For those of you that have more than 5 people to put in here, what you're gonna put is start from the people that are what's the word, currently in school. So if you have like your younger siblings are still in school, please put them here. Why are you doing that? So that the school is aware that no matter the income that your parents are making, which you would be reporting here and also be submitting on the bank statement, they're also paying my siblings' school fees or anybody's school fees that they're paying. So let's say your parents are bringing in 10 million a year, let's just say. If in a year your siblings' school fees is 5 million, like all of them together 5 million, obviously the school is not going to expect your parents to put the remaining 5 million towards your own education. They still have other expenses, so that they understand when your family says, oh, we can only put 500K or 100K towards our education because this is what we're doing. So family member, their age, relationship to you, name of school or college. So if they're in secondary school, put name of the school, their year in school, 12th grade SS3, 11th grade SS2, 10th grade SS1, 9th grade JS3, 8th grade JS2, and 7th grade JS1. So you might want to just put, if you're using a pen, those of you that you know, like you can squeeze stuff and people to be able to read it, you can actually put the full junior, secondary, blah, 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 tuition and fees. Now, for those of you that have siblings in university, calculate like their school fees, accommodation, how much your parents are sending. So for some of you that your siblings are probably going to like private schools and the total amount that your parents are paying is like 800, you know that they are a year and you know that their accommodation is already part of that, but it's probably send like 15K monthly or 30K monthly for their upkeep. 30K times 9 months that they spend in school is 270,000 plus 800, that's 1,070,000. So you have 800 here, room and board 270. If your sibling has scholarship or whoever that person is, you can put, if they don't have, put 0. Then amount of parent contribution, put the total amount, which will be 1,070. This is for next year. So if you have a sibling that is in 400 level, that is going into 400 level next year, August, that you're coming in 100 level next year, August, it will only be this entire box, this entire place that you're filling for that sibling. And here you're going to leave blank. So I hope that explains it. Make sure to include this room and board, and then I think LASU doesn't have like hostels. So if they're getting an apartment for that, for them, include those things, okay? They're only asking you for 2 years. So if your sibling is currently JS3, they're asking you for their SS1 and SS2. If your sibling is whatever, like 200 level, they're asking for their 300 and 400 level, provided that they pass. And that's all for the parent section in the ISFA. Now let's go to the ISAFA. What's your parents' status? Basically everything they ask them. So you have the option to click like self-employed. If your parents are retired, please put that. Unemployed, no regular income available, or they are temporarily unemployed, please put what is it that's happening there. Employer, number of years with the employer. Provide brief explanation of parent or legal guardian's work. So if you say they're a business owner, you want to explain, or they work together on the family business, which is what, a farming business or a poultry business. I'm not sure if that even falls under farming, so excuse me. That's also they're asking you. And you see how this entire space, like there should not be too much story, okay? If your mom is an engineer, what kind of engineer is she? If your dad is a doctor, what kind of doctor is he? So don't finish. How many people, including your parents, write in the number of people who live in your parents' household and are supported by their income. That's what ISFA is asking you. Sorry, ISAFA. So keep that in mind. Um, the table is the same for question 18. Complete all parts, include family members counted as your dependents in question 9 and or counted as your parents' dependents. So let's say you're the only child and you also have a child that is currently in school or not in school. So you can put their full name and put 0 years or 2 months so they know that that child is not yet in school. Or if you have a child, which would be your parents' grandchild, if your parents are not contributing, you're going to put 0, right? If your parents are contributing, obviously put how much they're contributing. And that is the end of, that's not the end. Section C now continued. Use this space. This is ISAFA. We're done with family and parents and legal guardians on ISFA. Section C says 20. Use this space to explain any unusual expenses, other debts, or special circumstances that the institution should consider when it is deciding how much financial aid, if any, you will receive. Use additional sheets of paper if necessary. The types of unusual expenses would mainly be like, okay, my parents, or let's say your grandparents just recently developed one sickness like that, God forbid, and your parents are the one covering that, then you need to include that and explain. If you need to carry extra sheets, people that escalate extra sheets in the exam, or this is your time to shine. Other debt, if your parents are owing, please explain that so that when you are putting income, like I said, 10 million, if you're owing 5 million, that means there's nothing left again for them to put in your education, just so that the schools understand where you guys are coming from, and this is the place for you guys to be truthful. If it's something like a health related issue, maybe for those of you that have to do chemotherapy, like, or just physical therapy because of an accident or because of whatever it is that you have, this is the time to do arugile and think about those special circumstances. Probably you guys live in a place that is like a war-torn place, and so your family has to put money aside in case you need to be evacuated or quickly run. So those are things that you need to explain. Please specify any barriers or challenges you face in providing supplementary documentation to demonstrate income values, banking records, business values. This is a situation whereby you're explaining that, oh, I cannot show my parents' pay slip because they've not paid them in the last 10 months. Do you understand? Or, oh, I cannot show the bank statement because banks are currently not working in my country, especially a country whereby, it's not yet settled, or you have to like know people. And so they're just asking you to explain it's what you have faced before providing that documentation. If it's a situation whereby you feel like, oh, my parents' business doesn't really take account of like every single income and expense that they make. So we had to make a rough estimate. That those are things that you want to explain so that the school is not like, so that everything is not like looking like a lie. Okay, additional information. If you feel like you need to explain anything here, like, or probably, oh, my mom is not learning, my dad is not learning, and so they do not know how to take account, they don't know how to take books. I had to ask them for it and create this document by myself. These are things that you want to explain to them, because especially if your mom is, I'm not insulting market women now, but if your mom is a market woman that doesn't take account, or there's no even space in the market, in a typical Nigeria market, to be writing books, but like most of these market women, like they know it like in their head. If you ask them like, who gets come and buy something last week, they will tell you who is owing who, they will tell you. And so you might want to include that here also. Select circumstances with ongoing financial impacts that apply to your family. If it's a situation whereby like is order, like if your dad is a lecturer and the school has been on strike, or a doctor, because I know like some hospitals have been on strike, or even nurses, or teachers, like changing employment, like maybe the minimum wage is just affecting you guys. COVID-19, COVID-19 from I feel like it's still affecting some people. So exceptional medical or dental expenses, you might want to include things like that. Catastrophic event or natural disasters. Like I feel like it was not I feel, I think it was just that like their farms were flooded and there was nothing to like harvest. So you might want to put that, maybe like that's where the bulk of your parents' money went. Elder care expenses, like I said, you have an elderly person that your parents are covering their bills, health wise or living expenses wise. If your parents sponsor like people like in church, it's part of like the expenses that they like, it impacts their um income. And not this is not being said in a negative light. This is just like the reality. If you're bringing 10 million, you're sponsoring a student whereby their school fees is 2 million, you have 8 million to take home. And so you just need to be realistic. Section D for ISAFA, because just small, that's all that is there in section D. College or university program, information, housing plans, obviously for most international students, they're living on campus. Please make sure you're putting the right thing. If you put early decision in your common app, don't come and put early action here or regular decision just because you want to change. So I'm going to do regular decision and put on campus. For the ISFA, let us see. Okay, section C also continues for the ISFA. So let's finish that up. What documentation will you be providing to verify income and assets information requested on this form? So if you have a statement from your parent employer, if they have tax forms, or the bank statements, or business files, business accounts, what is the name of the official country currency, naira or whatever it is? Does your government currently impose restrictions on the exchange and release of funds for study in the United States? I know before in in Nigeria, like for money to come, like for your parents to pay your school fees, like CBN, it takes 3 months, but now it's easier. So yes, go and Google it and come and just paste the restrictions. If no, leave it no. 20, do you have a source of emergency funds once you arrive in the United States, which you should? Yes. If yes, name source, your parents' income. If it's 500 naira, keep in mind that every single amount you're going to be putting from question 20 downwards is in naira. So if it's 500,000, if it's 100,000, like put that in there. How will you pay for your transportation to the United States? If you are aiming to get a STEM scholars program, in the school whereby their STEM scholars program covers your airfare, just put um anticipation of what is that thing? Anticipation, in anticipation of the STEM scholars program, or in anticipation of being awarded the STEM scholars program. But if a school, now I'm not saying all the schools that have the STEM scholars program like offer airfare or like transportation to the United States. Not all of them. Some of them offer for transportation in the US. So you need to confirm that clearly or very well. So most people are going to put parent income here. If you have a sponsor, maybe an auntie and or an uncle that's going to pay for you, put sponsor, then in bracket uncle or auntie, or family income is totally fine, or just family. During 2022, how much of your household income before taxes or expenses came from the following sources? So if you know your father and your mother work in the family business, just leave it and fill out family business. um your work, if you contribute towards your spouse's work, other members of the household, maybe your family members, your family gets from pension, retirement, real estate holdings. That means if your dad's a landlord, how much did they get in 2022? Now they're not asking for information in 2023. Interest or dividends if your parents have stock, other explain. So obviously your sheet of paper is getting longer. Just make sure to put the section and the question. So you'd have section C, question 22K explanation, other explanation. Then 23, would there be a significant increase or decrease in your family's income next year? Next year is when guys? 2025. So you're gonna 2025 slash 2026, because a year, an academic year is 2024 slash 2025, but just focus more on 2025. So for those of you that are like, oh, my parents are investing in something in this 2023 and it's going to bring plenty more in 2025, you click yes and explain like we're expecting like we're expecting a significant increase, a significant boom, But if you feel like, oh, my dad's going to retire next year, and so he's going to retire in 2025, so maybe the income would reduce a bit before, like, he would rest before now starting his business. So yes, there will be a significant decrease. That's totally up to you. That brings us to the end of section C for ISFA and section C for ISAFA. And I really hope it was helpful, guys. I also just completed section D for the um ISAFA. At this point in time, section E is basically the same thing that they're asking you in section C also. So when we come back, also those of you that are getting assistance from the government, like I said, rent from your family real estate holdings. So for the ISFA, we're coming back to section F. Sorry, for the ISAFA, we're coming back to section F. And section D for the ISFA is what we're coming back to. Basically, we're coming back to asset information. See you guys next week, Tuesday. And I hope this was helpful. Make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, and definitely stay tuned. Turn on your post notifications, guys. Bye.